there, this is Pammy Joe. I'm doing my 100 Facebook Lives public on Facebook because we're getting responses from all over the world from folks who believe in God and want to connect with someone. So I'm wide open on that. I'm happy and grateful that people that I've never met are willing to look at my videos. I'm deeply honored by that. It's hard to believe sometimes that it's not really human voices. Eternal souls need to interact with eternal souls. We need each other. For decades, I sort of avoided that realization and admitting that. But today, God scared me the crap out of me to get me out of my comfort zone. And so I'm thankful He's doing that, because what keeps us in a comfort zone also keeps us away from others that we can help, that we're here to serve. I'm Pammy Joe. I'm here to heal souls, give permission to eternals on earth to be eternal and activate and use your God-given talents and skills to help heal mankind. Well, the topic of today is accidents. There's been a few around lately. There's been a lot of tragedies. There's been a lot of losses. But today, my family had an accident. It was not our fault. Somebody made a mistake driving down the road, a windy road. He cut a corner and he hit my husband's vehicle. I'm not going to discuss the damage or who it was or the details, because that's kind of a legal thing. It's nothing about blame or anger or any of those types of things. What it is when I found out, I became very concerned. And my concern wasn't the damage to our vehicle, and it is repairable. My concern was the damage to my husband. The shock, largely emotional, of encountering accidents, because I've been in accidents. I've been hit downtown in snowstorms and other times. I've also hit deer, but the deer hit me. That was a while ago, but this just happened this morning on his way to work, and I had a lot of thoughts come through my mind. There was a time I would have been really worked up over it in a hysterical way. And I figured this time, reacting hysterical to Mike would not be the best thing for him. I think the best thing for him was listening when he described to me that he was looking over the damage and looking how to get it fixed. And he was out in his shop. And he wasn't usually out in his shop with the doors wide open when I get home from work. He's usually relaxing. So I was a little concerned when I saw him out there in the first place. But one of my first thoughts now that I'm an unstoppable influencer who believes in busting through blocks and hardships and making the best of them and finding that deep soul strength that we really do have, that I used to just basically flip off. So, are you okay was my first thought. I'm concerned for our vehicle, but I want to know how you are. We have 3 vehicles. I have one man living here. I'm grateful that he wasn't hurt, but he was hurt emotionally. He has both the impact of reacting to this accident when someone comes across the line and swipes you, and he has all of those what if feelings, I imagine. I didn't ask him. Anyway, what's important isn't what he's feeling. What's important, his feelings are his feelings. My job as an empath is to help him process those feelings. And the biggest way to do that is to let people talk it out. Because he faced it almost all day long, alone. And that builds up in you. It's frustrating. How am I going to fix my rig? Is this guy going to be a jerk? Blah, 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 blah. Mike was not at fault at all in this. And that's, speaking of fault, it's interesting what my ego or evil on earth or the fallen state or darkness, whatever you want to call it, it's there available to all of us if we decide to courtship darkness. It's an option. But I'm tired of it, so I'm not doing it. Thoughts like, well, is it my fault because I kept Mike up too late last night? We forgot to take our organic sleep med last night, so we didn't sleep all that well, but I was kind of hyped up anyway. So at least I know what we did wrong last night, but I'm thinking, how could it have been my fault if it's not Mike's fault? So I shot down my ego lies. And then I found myself, I used to ask over and over, there'd be this doubt that would come there, this thought, this errant, stupid, false thought. Well, was Mike tired? Is there blah, blah, blah? Should he have blah, blah, blah? And I'm going, no. And I made the mistake of saying something that upset him. And so I'm going, no, you didn't do anything wrong. Someone else made a mistake. You didn't do anything wrong. And I'm not going to say that anymore. So I have to, as an empath, I have to shut that kind of negative crap down and let the person talk to me, communicate with me, and vent their feelings. Now, here's the trick with empaths. What my subconscious tried to do was take those negative stress, I'm just talking about stress, not negative, positive, stressful trauma, and twist it into something that was, oh, it's my fault, this happened, blah, blah, blah. So I can be an empath, is what I'm saying. This is my new mission. I can be an empath. I can be a soul healer. I can be a spiritual healer, which is what I am, without damaging myself, without blaming myself. Because these imperfect negative traumas, they're looking for a place to land. I'm going to give you an analogy, but lest you think I'm overly religious, I am just quoting from a book that is very insightful. It's a book I believe in, but that I don't hit people over the head with intentionally, okay? It's called the Holy Bible. It's not complete because some people took some history out of it. But what's there is valid and stands on its own. Jesus said, when you clean demons out of someone, there's a nice clean space there. And those demons will go out and they will get 7 worse than they are and come back. And the person will be worse off than when you started. Okay, this is a lesson. He spoke in parables a lot. I'm not saying I don't believe in demons or anything like that. But Melissa, Mike was in an accident this morning on the way to work and had to process those emotions and that trauma by himself all day long. And I did not get an opportunity to help my husband until I got home from work at 5:30. He'd had to face that, all of that trauma of being in an accident by himself that whole day. So I'm just saying the type of his trauma, him talking to me about it, it's easy for that to get twisted into something negative, such as he was tired and it's my fault because I didn't take care of him well enough yesterday. He didn't cause this. He was on his side of the road. Someone crossed the line who wasn't paying attention. It has nothing to do with Mike and me. Nothing. Zero. Zip. So demons, negative thoughts that want to come in because there's a negative stress, anxiety from this accident, from this experience that can get planted here and twisted into something that is not our fault. I can listen to my husband and my friends and my people I don't know. I can listen to you about your trauma and I can help you process it without blame of some sort. I don't even have a need to blame the person who made the mistake. It does no good from an emotional and a spiritual standpoint. Legal and all that stands on its own. What happened, happened. The facts are the facts. It's not debatable. Don't even need to talk about it. But the trauma, the reason this really stands out to me is since I had my kids and since we both in my first marriage and came together as a family with different members who didn't know each other in the second marriage and both having kids, I have not understood how to process people's venting, is what I'll call it, venting. The need to communicate to others. The need that you can't hold things inside. And people who are watching this know, yes, he is okay. He was going up a winding paved road that he goes to get to work. It's like 10, 12 miles out of town. Right now he's using his own vehicle because there's not a work one available. And someone came around a blind corner on the wrong side of the road and took his mirror off and scraped our vehicle. but he is not hurt physically and doesn't seem to have physical trauma. I'm sure he's going to have stiff muscles just from the reaction, because I've been mildly hit, and the tension may be there for him. But he is okay, and the vehicle is repairable, and we're working on the details. I don't want to talk about the details right now, but I could tell by the look on his face and his complexion that something happened. And all I'm saying looking back is, before I knew I was an empath, I didn't know how to handle this stuff. I felt people's trauma, emotions, and I don't even want to call them negative. They're just reactions to events in life that we don't know what to do with or how to immediately release. And look at the lessons, look at how to repair things and let it go. I mean, we've been building this stuff up, causing illness, overeating, yelling at others, doing harm to others, doing harm to our own selves, all of these millennia on earth, and I'm tired of it. And so a new kind of healing is here, and empaths like me want to help myself and my family and my friends and strangers in some sort of a business situation where you can schedule time with me to help you understand your spiritual self, forgive and love your spiritual self, and stop letting him and her be damaged by circumstances and accidents and traumas. We are eternal energy beings in a physical body, and everything is energy, including our flesh. It's a form of energy. Oh, so God's saying that's how he resurrected his son. He rearranged the energy to make that body a new body with the same scars, but a new body with new energies and new fluids. And I have a book he wrote where he talked about how he interacted the fluids and the energy and the solids and how they all work together to form these physical things, or the stars, or the planets, or the soil, or the light. All of it. It's all energy. So we can heal from traumas like this, be they emotional ones from losing someone, or physical ones that endanger our lives and harm things that matter to us, be it people or equipment. My husband is a mechanic. He restores things. He was going to paint this vehicle. He's been gradually improving on it. It's an 86 model Ram Charger. And he's been putting new seats in it and new interior. He just fixed the fan belt, and he got a new alternator for it. And the instant he did all that, it gets hit by someone. So that's hard for him. And I want to be here for him and be patient and kind to him and not run from that, because I don't like the fact that when someone is upset, this area of my being gets a tight anxiety. I can learn to let that go and to turn that into healing and love. I can flip it over and give it back as patience instead of, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know what we're going to do. Oh my God, I can't believe this happened to you. Oh shit. That used to be my reaction. And it wasn't anger. It was a not healthy way to react when you love someone. There are better ways to react to myself that I love and to others that I love, besides those types of hyperactive victim, feel sorry for, angry, panic, give up. I don't know what to call it, but I'm tired of it. Yes, I'm tired of people keep joining the video. That's why I kind of repeat myself. My husband was in an accident, and my old reaction was to be really angry at whoever did it, ask a million questions, legal questions about the details, and get him so worked up that he was as upset as he was when he had the accident. Now, I am learning and I am succeeding as an empath who can feel your feelings along with my own, to help people vent and feel good about themselves no matter what happens to them. no matter whose fault it is. If it's their fault, to forgive themselves, to say, I made a mistake. If it's someone else's fault, to acknowledge it's their mistake, but we don't have to hate them. And then get this stress and this trauma that builds up from thinking you might be killed when someone heads for you and scrapes up against your vehicle and not know. I mean, that is really traumatic, to clash with someone. Be it somebody angry that you meet in person, or physical trauma, or a near miss, or a 2-foot hailstone hitting by your feet, you know what I'm saying? Or winds. I mean, there's a lot of fear out there. So my approach to those things is going to be empathy, as in listening, encouraging, loving, offering help when needed. Here's what I can do for Mike. They don't make that mirror. I'm going to take the frame that he carefully took off. It won't be perfect, but for now, and take it to the glass shop and see if they can't put a mirror in that for him so that he can keep that same type of mirror. And then later, if he decides I need new mirrors and I need the insurance route and all that, I don't want to talk details, we'll do that. But whatever gives him peace right now is what I want to do. Peace. So that he can let go of that memory and resolve it through some actions. It's a learning process. I look back now and the way I reacted to my children when they had crises, when they were crying, the way I've reacted to Mike if he gets upset has been to get upset too. It's not working. Empaths can't do that to people. Not when we know better. I can't. I'm not talking about any other empath. This empath is going to help people heal, not make their situation worse. So that's what I've decided. I'm here to help heal souls and give permission to eternal, I call earth angels, to be eternal. Use God's tools. Use your talents. Use the skills that you've been given to help heal others and yourself. I can't think of a more lovely mission than that. So thank you for watching. Have a good evening, morning, day, week, whatever you're facing next. And I wish you the best.